Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to show you how I paint the easiest watercolor coneflowers. I went a little crazy. They're just so fun to paint, so relaxing, so easy. And we're going to be using a water brush and a new little paint palette that I picked up. So if you want to learn how I painted these, keep watching. So the main reason that I wanted to paint these is because I got this new watercolor set from Grabby. They sent this to me and I had to review it and swatch it, and there was this color in there. It's called Jam and it's just so pretty, so I figured I could paint some coneflowers with it. But I like this, fans out, and it's really great for traveling, so I'll link this below. It comes with a water brush as well, so we'll be using a water brush in this tutorial. And it also folds out to have a little mixing palette. But that color Jam right there, it's so pretty. So we'll be using that, and then we'll be using these brown colors on the bottom for the centers. So I'm just gonna mix up this Jam color, and if you don't have this, you could use a magenta, or you can use a mix of permanent rose with a little violet. I'm also mixing up some of this bright fluorescent pink, so a rose opera color would be nice, and a yellow ochre, and then our browns. I'm using the browns that they have in here, but you can mix up burnt sienna or burnt umber, and we're just going to start painting in that cone-like shape center. They almost look like Hershey Kisses without the pointy top, if that makes sense. I'm using my base color, which is that burnt sienna color, and then I'm going to drop in some darker brown into that while it's still wet, and it's just going to create some variation. And you can make these centers as pronounced as you'd like them to be. We're going to have a whole composition, but I'm just going to start with this first flower's petals. To create these petals, I'm letting the brush do the work. See, I'm going an upward motion, and I'm using the tip of that brush, and then I'm pressing down and opening the belly. See, I'm using the tip, pressing down, opening the belly, and lifting. And it's fine if it touches that center while it's still wet, because I like to see those beautiful bleeds. If you prefer, you can let those centers dry or just avoid touching that center part. You can also start your brush movement from the center out and sort of lift at the end. It's really preference, it's up to you. Of course, my neighbor is mowing his lawn right now, sorry about that. I'm gonna put another flower up here, the same thing. I'm using a brown mix, and I am gonna vary the shades of brown in the center just because I love to see different variations. I'm dropping in some of that brown mixture, and I'm sort of making some stick out a little bit. And then I'm going down and up. See how my brush is literally doing all of the work. And depending on how you angle your wrist is how the shape is going to be. And see, I'm going out and up, down into that center. And now I'm going to put in some stems. I'm actually mixing a little bit of that Jam color into the green. Keeps this very cohesive when you mix the color that you're using with your greens. A little tip there, and I'm holding my brush completely straight up, and I'm using the tip of that brush, using very light pressure to create very thin lines. And then I'll start adding in more stems to sort of build out that composition. If you prefer to do all your flowers and then connect them after, that's also totally fine. It's really a preference, but I just find this to be easier visually. And then again, I'm using that brush, the shape of that brush, to create these long skinny leaves, and they're pointed at the tips. And then I'm just gonna do some marks, because this is like a loose, flowy sort of wildflower bouquet type thing. But yeah, I'm gonna go back in, and I want one up here. And this is sort of a different angle, so you can see how my wrist is going. So I'm sort of turning it when I want the petal to slant a certain way. And you can feel free to move your paper if it's easier, but I'm going to more towards the left now. And I'm trying to see which way is better to do. But this I'll go out and in, and it's sort of like on a upper angle, and then I'll just fill in some little spots in between, but we're gonna do that later on. And I'm doing these little dot, like short little lines to create some texture within that center. And you see how that one's a little bit of a lighter yellow and this one's a little bit of a deeper brown. Just like to add a little variation in there. And so these aren't perfectly circled, they're sort of like squiggled in and pretty loose. Feel free to sketch this out if it's easier for you. Just dropping in some more of that brown. And this one I kind of made it go upwards. See how I'm going from the out in, and I'm sort of turning my wrist to allow the direction of the petal to go which way I want it. So these are going out and up. I'm just mixing up a little bit more brown over here. And I'm just going to drop that in while it's still damp. And I'm not exactly copying the one on the left, but I'm going based off that just for the ease of the tutorial for this composition. So I'm going to do one up here, and I'm kind of pulling out the wet blob with my damp brush, and I'm pulling out some of those sides just to give it some texture. And again, we're going to put in some petals, and I like to change up the amount of color that I have in there, and you can drop some color in while it's still wet and let it do its magic. I'm just trying to imagine where my stem will be, so I leave a little bit of a space for this one. It's going to go up, and then some might be in the background. This one's going to be a little different, so I'm creating little lines to create that center, but still in that same shape. And then this one will have it kind of closed, so it's really tight and closed. See the difference? It's not coming out as much, so it's very tight. And then I will do a lighter yellow one over here, like a yellow ochre. Once this dries, we'll go in and add some detail in there, so we'll be able to add a little bit of a darker brown on top of this one. It's just fun. This is just such an easy, fun flower, and you can practice this so easy. You just need a round brush. You don't need to use a water brush, but a round brush is really great for these. And then I'm going to go in and create some buds. I always like to add buds to my compositions, so I'm just dropping in some of that color into that green, almost like it's going to bloom. It's not really a closed bud. We'll do another one here. So we got a little cap, and then the little tiny bits of that jam color just dropped in there, so it appears as if there's a flower that's going to emerge. I'm going to go back in with the tip of that brush and start putting in the stems. This one's kind of outward like that. And then I like to go in and kind of balance it out a little, add a bud on this side, because thinking of if they're like wildflowers, you're going to see lots of little buds in different shapes. And then I'll start adding in some more leaves. Just literally mark making. They don't really need to connect to anything. I'm just dabbing that to create this leaf shape. You can take your time with this, but I just love how whimsical it looks. Little tiny marks. And now we're going to go in once this is dry, and we're going to put in those lighter background petals. So fill in those little spaces a little. Maybe you'll see the petals behind the flower in the background. So I'm using a lighter wash of the same color, and I'm just filling in some space. This is obviously optional. I just feel like it kind of completes the painting a bit. Just adds a little character. And you can also go in and add lines to the petals now that they're dry. if you want, you can add lines down the center, or you could do it on a couple of them. And then I want to go into these centers now and just add some little strokes. So this is going to give you that detail in the center of the flower that they have. And this may not be like completely accurate to a coneflower, but this is the likeness of one, and this is my coneflower. You can do it specifically based on a reference photo if you like, and choose the colors that way. But I love the ochre with this nice burnt sienna color on it. Such a pretty mix. And then I want to go back in and define some of my leaves, pull some forward, and do a couple more marks here and there, fill in any of that negative space to complete the painting. And there you have it. Simple, easy, loose, flowy watercolor coneflowers. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or you'd like to see something next. And make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my next tutorial. I'll see you next time.